Welcome to Success Talks with Rodney Saulsberry. I hope you will support my sponsors who bring you this podcast absolutely free and with limited interruptions. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. I'll get started in just a second. Has anyone ever said to you that you have a nice voice and you should get into voiceovers? Well, this is your chance to find out how to do that online in Rodney Saulsberry's voiceover online seminar for beginners only. You can find out what it takes to be a voiceover artist. And here's the beauty of this online seminar. You don't have to be there. When you register, you will automatically get a copy of the seminar. Go to my website at rodneysaulsberry.com and sign up today. Our guest on this podcast is Christi Bowen. I first met Christi many years ago when she attended my voiceover workshop in Los Angeles, California. She was a great talent then, and she's even a greater talent now. And she specializes in e-learning narrations. And that's what this whole thing is about, e-learning narrations. And she's worked for a whole lot of people. Some of her clients include L'Oreal, Walmart, General Mills, AAA Auto Club, IKEA, and many more. Christi was also a featured speaker at VO Atlanta in 2017 for the eLearning track, and she's really proud to be the team leader for the eLearning narration track at VO Atlanta 2018. So that's coming up in March, so look for her there. She loves sharing her knowledge and sharing her experience to develop and encourage talent. And that's exactly what she's doing today here on Success Talks. Welcome, Christi.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here with all of you.
We are so glad to have you here on Success Talks because you are part of one of the hottest genres in voiceover, e-learning.
It is. It's a very, very big growing business. And the big secret to it is it's continuous work.
What other voiceover genre would you compare e-learning to?
Probably corporate narration or explainer videos is the closest. And explainer videos are kind of a weird hybrid between a little bit of e-learning because you are trying to teach somebody something and a sales commercial. And they're also short, unlike e-learning, which can be very, very, very long. So a corporate narration, I guess, would be the closest cousin to an e-learning.
Now, that being said, is there a definition for e-learning? If someone said to you, what is e-learning? What would you say to them?
Oh, certainly. E-learning is several different things, and there are different audiences for e-learning. There are either internal employees of a company that need to learn some form of information that the company is either required by law or required just within its own corporate culture to share and disseminate to students/employees within the company. There is also external e-learning for maybe customers or other users, not always necessarily internal employees, that is teaching you something about the company, or it's a learning process. But e-learning is basically a form of learning and teaching information to students. It's a very big growing industry. There are a lot of new things that are happening within e-learning. Different systems that are being used. Virtual reality is taking off. Gameplay, games basically keep learners engaged and informed. A lot of times e-learning still can be and is an hour-long learning that somebody has to do. They have to sit in a chair for a certain what they call seat time, because by law they have to have 1 hour of learning on X subject. That most people think of as, oh goodness, I have a whole hour to sit here and have to listen to this or do this. And it can be very boring. It's like a glorified PowerPoint presentation. They have to click through and read something and hear somebody say, and then they have to click to the next one and read some more. And there are those that exist, and they are necessary and they are needed. But to make the learner more engaged and to make sure that the learning that they're, and all the time that the people who are creating e-learning are doing, and make it worthwhile, and also for people to remember the very important information the company is trying to teach you. They're trying to make it more engaging. And that's where the virtual reality comes in. That's where the games are coming in.
And all of those things fall under the heading of e-learning.
Yes.
The reviews are in. The latest book from voiceover superstar and coach Rodney Saulsberry is another runaway hit. Readers from all over the world are raving about his newest title, Tongue Twisters and Vocal Warm-Ups. You can find this and his other titles at the top of the voiceover bestsellers list on Amazon.com.
Is there a good amount of work out there?
Oh, tons. Mainly because when it comes to regulations, oil and gas industry, sexual harassment training for people, corporate core culture, anytime new hires, especially new hire training and HR benefits and all those kinds of things typically fall under the e-learning category because they're required, especially for huge, large, multinational, international corporations, depending on where you are and the different laws and the states you're in and the corporate culture itself. And again, sexual harassment training, which is a big deal in the news right now, that is something that companies are trying to teach their people. And e-learning is the way it's being done. Lots of scenario and role play. It's not just strict narrator, kind of boring, let me read all this stuff. There's also a lot of role play. With multiple other actors, you're playing scenarios to teach people lessons.
So you're not always just working by yourself. Sometimes you're working with other people too. Where can you go to seek this kind of work?
Honestly, it's a very different type of way of finding work. Sometimes the pay-to-play sites do have these things listed, and that's sometimes a very good entry for a lot of people to get into them. A lot of it is your own marketing and finding the companies that use e-learning. Most every company does use some form of e-learning. There are specific companies out there that specialize in e-learning and corporate training. Those are the companies you have to look for e-learning. LinkedIn is a great place because it's business to business, part of the business to business culture. So LinkedIn is a great way to find the companies and or the people who actually write the programs. They're called instructional designers. So if you go into LinkedIn and type in the word instructional designer and see everybody who comes up with that job title, those are the people that are writing the scripts and writing the programs that e-learning is used for, and those are the people that are hiring voice actors and their companies. E-learning really is a very much you have to do it on your own kind of thing. But the great thing about it is once you get a job with somebody or you're in with a company, you're treated kind of like a vendor because again, it's business to business.
Right.
So you have this whole thing of you're on their short list and they just come to you every time. If you're a good vendor and you provide the right stuff, they're going to keep coming back.
So this is an area in voiceover that is definitely B2B.
That's correct. Yes, it is more a do your own thing compared to an agent. Not many e-learning companies go to agents because again, their mindset typically is they deal one-on-one with vendors, and we're seen as vendors.
Success Talks is about people being successful. We've had all types of guests. One guy talked about HR payroll, and I love the fact that you are saying things that apply to all businesses. We always think about agents and waiting on your agents to go out and get auditions for you. But here's something where it's B2B and you're dealing with people that are going to hire you. And once you are hooked up with them, they could continue to use you. So the repeat business is very much a valid thing in this particular genre.
The golden nugget of e-learning is the repeat business.
I love it. Do you need an e-learning demo?
Yes. E-learning is very, very different than commercial. Now, within e-learning, an e-learning demo, a lot of what e-learning is dry work. There's not a lot of production to it. Very little music. Sometimes there is, maybe in an introduction or a closing. There's a specific structure to e-learning. Demos are mostly dry, so it's dry voice. There's a lot of click here, and on the next screen, we'll talk about that kind of thing. So it's very instructional. But a lot of e-learning is going towards the conversational way of thinking and of delivery, which does lend itself a little more towards a commercial style demo. And some people, if that's the kind of e-learning they're doing, can glean from your commercial demo or a narration demo that you can do that kind of thing. But it is better to have a specific e-learning demo because it wouldn't be as produced. It doesn't have as much music. You have to, it's nice to have some in there with some music, but it's nice to have some dry pieces, very straightforward, but also some that do show a range. And within e-learning, there are a lot of different types. There's medical e-learning, technical, which gets extremely technical, lots of words and things that, and things on paper, you're like, wait, how many syllables does that word have? So between medical and technical and general corporate culture, HR, sexual harassment, that kind of thing, there's also gameplay and role play. And there's also English as a second language trainings sometimes fall under e-learning just because of the nature of the style. So it's a very training and teaching type of narration. So those kinds of things all fall under e-learning. And so there's a lot of different styles you can do.
How long, when we think about the commercial demo, it has really shrunk in time. Some of them now are under a minute. A promo demo is a little longer. A narration demo is a little longer. How long should an e-learning demo be?
About the same length, about a minute to a minute and a half at the most. Again, there's sometimes the straight corporate professional sound that a lot of companies are looking for, because again, you're talking all the way sometimes from the CEO all the way down to the people that clean the building. So you're talking about everybody. So a very kind of straightforward way of doing things is nice. But then there's also, you want to have some character to your voice, because again, there's role play and a lot of characters are now being written into e-learning. So it is a way to showcase a lot of different styles and different genres, again, within e-learning. Maybe throw a medical thing in there if you can do it. Having it that short shows you a lot of different styles, but you don't want it to get too long either.
Can you please give us an idea? What does this pay? What can a voiceover artist look for in terms of money in the e-learning field?
E-learning can be very lucrative. Again, because of the repeat business, that's the big key. But the thing about e-learning is there are several different ways to charge for e-learning. And e-learning is either charged by the minute, per finished minute, finished meaning you have done all the editing. Typically, the going range is anywhere from $20 to $30 a finished minute. And then there's per word, 25, anywhere from 10 cents is super low, but 15 cents all the way up to 30 cents a word, which can be lovely, but it's a pain to deal with. And then there's just, a flat rate. Per finished minute is kind of the industry standard a little bit. It works out, most people are around $25 to $30 a finished minute. That works out to around $1,600 to $1,800 for a finished hour of audio. And this is repeat business, especially if you do anything in HR, benefits. Benefits change every year. Government regulations change every year. They have to update their training because it has to be current. Anything that's coming down the pike that's going to happen in 2000, especially to be implemented by the year 2020, they have to do that training now. So those are the gifts that keep on giving is what I like to call them, because they are. And that's why it can be very lucrative. And once you get those clients, or you are on their roster and you are their go-to talent, it just keeps coming. It just doesn't stop. As long as you deliver good customer service, because again, it's business to business.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Such great information. I know that everyone is going to appreciate it. I want you to let people know how they can get in touch with you. I know you have a group that you work with. What's the name of that group?
Yeah, I am actually the co-founder and owner of Tennessee Voiceover Exchange. TiVo is what we call ourselves, and we're the meetup group in Nashville for voice actors and in the surrounding area. We have a monthly meeting, so you're welcome to join me and find out more about that. If anyone wants to contact me directly, you can go through my website, which is ChristiBowen.com, and Christi is spelled ChristiBowen.com. Has all my contact information on there, a way to get in touch with me.
All right. Well, Christi, we want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rodney.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
You can listen to any of Rodney's podcasts at any time. Go to RodneySaulsberry.com.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I urge you to listen to future podcasts where I will continue to try and make you better than before. My goal is to point you in a positive direction to success, right here on Success Talks with me, Rodney Saulsberry.
Change my ways.